Lisa? Well, hello, Mary. Hi. Hi there. How are you? Hey, Shan Chan. You doing all right? Well, hello there. Can you hear? I guess you're hearing me okay. I'm not hearing myself. Usually I hear myself. Are y'all hearing me okay? Good, good, good. Good, I'm glad to hear. We SRE. Hi, Evansville. Hey, fellow Hoosier. Welcome to the dumpster fire that's Indiana. Good. Usually I hear myself I actually like this better. I can't hear myself. Maybe it's because I turned something down and didn't even know it. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't need to hear myself. Ew. Look at all these Hoosiers. Ruby Doo. I like that name. Yeah, all these Hoosiers. Have you seen Corinne? I can't think of her last name. She's got a phrase called Blueziers. So us Hoosiers that are part of the Blue Dots, we're Blueziers now. Saltsmom, I don't know what I want to talk about. That's why I put in the topic. I just put deconstructing chat Q&A, and I really did not have time before hopping on here to actually think about what we're going to talk about. There's a lot going on. We have a new vice president candidate for Team Kamala. Blue hen here, same as Joe. Love it. Love it, Saltsmom. So yeah, I'm getting caught up on, I hadn't had a lot of time to research Tim Walz, even though I knew he would be a good candidate. I think he's a later live. Yeah, I'm kind of all over the place, Chineko. I can't decide what time I want to do these. I think I like the afternoons, but I think a couple times a week I'll go live later on in the day. So we can chat. But yeah, looking at his record, I'm pretty impressed. I'm pretty impressed with Walz. How's everybody else feeling about it? Our college mascot was a chicken. That's good. I bet you had a lot of stuff said from your competition about a chicken. I bet you did. Just knowing immature people. Yeah, I like him. I like what I'm reading. The fact that he started the weird movement is like these people are just weird. Yeah, same soul and traveler. A teacher, and the fact that he's done so much and he understands that, like the free meal program for students. I could be completely, yeah, the school lunch, exactly, Chineko, because he knows that a child well fed is going to learn better, is going to have less behavior issues, is going to have less anxiety, is going to have less emotional trauma about being in a classroom with students who don't have that worry. He understands that. He understands that. And so that there's a place for compassion. And of course, they're already throwing mud up on the wall to see what's going to stick about him. But I like what I've seen. I saw a video earlier today where someone was saying that she was probably in her late 30s, early 40s, and she said he's reminding so many of us who lost our father to Trump. He's reminding us of what we lost. We got our daddy back. That's so sweet. You could tell that you could see that she was giving people permission. The video was just blowing up. So if you haven't seen it, I'm sure it'll come on your FYP. But she's giving people permission to grieve and to understand that there are so many emotions tied up in this election. That's the reason why I've talked so much about patriarchy. Understanding what patriarchy means. We're not weird. We are not weird. Marianne, I have not heard one negative thing about him yet. Yeah, I haven't either. I'm reading up on because he was governor during the George Floyd unaliving. So I want to read about that. Your judgment will be more harsh than others as a reverend. I'm good with it. I'm good with it. Always a contender. I'm always a contender. Oh, I mean, I'm always taking the heat. I'm good for it. I'm standing in the gap for people who have been hurt by people like you. So I'll continue to stand in the gap. Oh, Saltsmom, are you ready to be a mod? Are you ready to be a mod? Because we're ready. Call me D. Hey, Rev. So just so you don't catch flack, he pronounces it Walz. I'm sorry. What was I saying? That could have been just, I wasn't even paying attention. So thank you for that. Was I putting a T in there? I bet I was. So thank you. Yeah, I was just reading about that Friday. I don't think that I don't know if that's the whole story, but he absolutely probably could have made a mistake. See, on this side, we hold people accountable. We own our mistakes. And then we correct them. We don't try to hold somebody up on a pedestal and say that they don't make mistakes or that they don't have things to do like people do with Trump, and pretend like and make fun of the things that he does when he belittles people or he comes out vomiting racist, homophobic, transphobic, misogynistic comments. So if he has, then we need to hear about it, and we need to hear how he has since improved what his own what would hopefully be a deconstructing journey to learn more about what he needs to do to face his accountability. So let's hope. Yeah. So the one thing I think that the thing that I tried to I couldn't get you up, Cece. I don't know if you were just passing through, or you may have left. The one thing I like about both Kamala and Tim is that they are Christians. Vice President Kamala Harris is a Baptist, and Tim Walz is a Lutheran, and they're not exploiting their faith. They're using it as part of their principles for which they stand. That is part of their moral compass. And that there is nothing. Oh, that okay. Hi, Cece. There is nothing more inspiring and sacred than to see someone who acts in that way. By the way, I have some news. I have been invited Monday night to speak at the Christians for Harris Zoom event. I don't have any details. Do some of you have them yet? Nothing has come through for me. I just know that I can't be there in person, but I'm going to be offering a recording. Brian, they are hiding what? They are hiding what? Thank you, David. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm honored. So Shan, the topic is kind of all over the place. I kind of wait, and I don't want to guide the topic. I kind of let people see what it's going to be. And I had a feeling that we might go down a little bit of the road of politics just because of what happened. Cece, I don't have anything right now, but I bet if you go, Lynette, can you provide the name of the person in Instagram that I know is the coordinator? Because I think she's already posting about it. I'm going to speak about the table of our beliefs is big enough for all of us. That are, whenever the focus of us focusing on how we disagree and is what has caused a lot of this division. So I plan to talk about that because I have a feeling that on these kinds of calls, there's going to be people that are really confused because they're hearing now they got Christians on both sides talking to them. And you have some talking about Trump being this God-ordained person and basically don't defy church authority if that's what they say. Well, that's certainly going to trigger, for those of you who are deconstructed, that's going to trigger a lot of things inside you. And then all of a sudden there's guilt and there's shame and if you haven't worked through some of that, It's a little crazy. So yeah, I want to talk about that. Oh, the skeletons. Well, David, it'll be interesting to read about them and hear about what Tim's Dara, in your mind, this is a safe space. If you want to stay here, you can ask questions, but if you're coming here to judge and show us that you are somehow pretend that you are privileged and you're above us, and somehow you have the right to come in here and exude all your wisdom based on your Christian entitlement, that this simply isn't the place for you, honey. It's water off a duck. And we create a really safe and sacred space here. So like I said, if you have questions and you want to stay, you can. But if you can't, all you do when you make comments like that is you're showing people the very reason why they're deconstructing. You are absolutely the poster child for why people are deconstructing. And y'all don't get it. You just keep doubling down to think that you have somehow you're going to wield some kind of weaponized belief over the rest of us. And all you really do is affirm to us, like, thank God I am not sitting in the pew beside somebody like you. Because it's vile. It's vile. And it's really, it's shame on you. Shame on you for thinking you can come in here to a bunch of people who are asking questions and just having a conversation. Shame on you. Anyway, oh, thank you. Rev Karla Shop put it in there, Christians for Kamala, August 12th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I will be speaking. What are they thinking? I'm gonna be so good. I'm really excited about this. I think that is exactly the kind of table of humanity that Christians should be building in order to help people unpack this stuff that's happening. Because over on that side, they are just blurring the lines of literal interpretation of Scripture to somehow wrap Trump up in a pretty bow and say, here's the divine one. Here's the orange man, poopy pants, orange man, divine one. He's our dude. And the crazy thing about that is that this is nothing but patriarchy. This is not only patriarchy. Thank you, Rev Karla Shop. This is YT supremacy. It's absolutely what it is. If you have not seen Bad Faith, and I know for those of you who have been there, by the way, I'm almost done with summarizing this book. This will be, I will have a summary for this that will be available, and also a couple of documents. But I'm going to tell you, the documents are going to be really thin at the beginning, but I'm creating timelines that explain things from the Great Awakening down to the birth of Christian nationalism, because you really need to understand that. I've got abbreviations and what they mean. I've got definitions. I've got timelines. I've got people that you need to follow. I've got people that I'm warning you about. And I'm just going to start putting it up there. And as I add things, you can have it. And most of that will be open source view only. So you give us your email and you can get it. So I would say, I don't know, Lynette, maybe by this weekend we'll be able to do something with that. I saw somebody's comment about, I am more concerned that he believes in feeding hungry kids and defending women's rights. You're more concerned. Oh, you are. Okay, I'm going to reread that. You mean that's what you want him to be concerned about. That's because I noticed you're a subscriber. Thank you very much, because that's where you're going to find the book reviews. I'm actually going to be uploading videos talking about these book reviews, and they're going to be loaded. There's going to be open source documents that you'll be able to source the things like definitions and timelines. But when it comes to the book reviews, those are going to be in subscriptions, so we can have some live conversations and talk about those. Micah Tyler, how can I send you my email? That's a really good question. We haven't worked that part out yet. Right now, if you want to send it to Lynette, is it support at Rev Karla? Support at Rev Karla. Highski67. Don't you love how I just wing this stuff all the time? My goodness. all the time. So, so Shan, if you're still here, to answer your question, it's all kind of tied up together. And it is all kind of tied up together when we're talking about whether we're deconstructing, whether we're talking about politics, whether we're talking about spiritual care, showing up in as your authentic self. I never know what we're going to talk about here. I really let you all guide me. I really let you all tell me what it is that you want to talk about. I'm willing to answer your questions. I'm willing to take this wherever you want. Hey, Mama. How are you? Thank you for being here. Appreciate. My computer just took off like it was, like it's a jet engine. Like it got mad at me, like the rest of the world. Mama, that's good. You should. I always say stay awake, use your voice, and vote. And now I added, don't give up hope. We should, but we have to pay attention, because those entrenched in Christian nationalism will use whatever means, including corruption, disruption, chaos, misrepresentation of facts, because in their mind, that means if it's hastening the kingdom of heaven, then they believe it's justified. How many of us went to church with people like that? I know a contractor who believed it was his God-given right to quote non-Christians hire and actually misrepresent what the work that he was going to do, because he could do that. They were lost souls anyway. They were of the world. He could do whatever he wanted. So if it meant more money, then that was more money that he could tithe to the church. And nobody ever said a word to him, because everybody was reliant on that money. And he had a lot of it. He would laugh when he was making proposals. And there's somebody out there who knows I'm telling the truth right now, because I know there's a bunch of people who troll me. And you know that. Hi, Mulicent. Saltsmom says, I still have guilt for carrying water for the patriarchy and teaching other women to do so. I hear you. I hear you. Like I said earlier, I don't know if I've said it tonight, but we do try to keep this live a safe and sacred space. And we do have to knock some people out every once in a while to do that. But I will go into other people's lives where they're debating, and they're debating people who are on opposite ends of the spectrum. And I support what they do. I learn a lot from those, but oftentimes I will find that the person who I am most triggered at, that I'm going to start commenting, here it comes, I'm going to start, is the white woman, and listening to her double down and just become like unhinged in her support of this Christian patriarchy that is suffocating her. And that she does not see how many generations she is threatening with that ideology. Yeah, Lynette, we can. Can you bring people up? Okay, good. When did that happen? I thought you couldn't. So yeah, but that is, then I realize I'm dealing with my own truth. So yeah, but could you mute for a second? It's me. And also you're going to have to turn off whatever you're listening to on the live, because we're going to continue to get feedback. So, and it's me. Before I bring you up, I just want to say a couple things, because I never know where we're going to go with this. Be careful. Make sure you use TikTok friendly language. Be careful trauma dumping. So in other words, be sensitive about what you might say that someone else might find really troubling. Just use very gentle language about whatever it is you have to say. And you're welcome to unmute. Are you there? It's me. Hello? Tay's Intuitive Healing, while we're waiting for It's Me to unmute, Tay's Intuitive Healing says, I am with you. I had to walk away from some women because they are so embedded in it. We had a really good conversation a couple weeks ago with, oh my gosh, Mary Jo Lopp. I saw her come in. I don't know if she's still here, talking about that patriarchy. This Christian patriarchy also teaches you to be competitive with other women, and to despise them and be jealous of them. Because if you see them as an enemy, if you see them as less, as that you are less than when you're compared to them, then that distracts you from the very people who are oppressing you. So that part of carrying the water, actually, it feeds your loyalty to the Christian patriarchal structure. And you feel as if you are being rewarded by the godly men, and somehow God is up there high-fiving you because of what you're doing, when all you're doing is harming women who are below you, women who are watching you, who want to be you and trying to just survive. And you don't realize how much your privilege, your entitlement, that false narrative that you have about yourself is reliant upon this toxic system. Mama Shay says, hello, it's me. What? What is my mic not working? Can everybody hear me? Hello, it's me. Is that, what is that? Adele song? Mama She says, I just found out that I have more Trump dumpsters in my family than I thought, and I just don't get it. It'll get more intense. It'll get more intense as time goes on. Hi, sis. Mary Beth is my sister. They play us against each other because if we unite, we are unstoppable. Can you just, everybody, can you just take that and bookmark it? They play us against each other because if we unite, we are unstoppable. That is the tenet of any patriarchal structure. You must believe that everybody else that is down there being oppressed with you is your competition, is your enemy. And that even happens within households. That will be where women become insanely jealous. Some of the stories I've heard about women who've been insanely jealous of their own daughters. Very much so. Oh, I'm sorry, sweet 75CA. Is mine still up? Is my video still up that you duetted and you got a CGV? It happens sometimes. Absolutely appeal it. And if you don't, if they still don't let it back, then, because I don't think I have any CGVs right now. So if they don't let it back, then make sure that you appeal it through the email system, because that should not be. When did you duet it?
And if you own one, you
sorry. No, I'm on TikTok. When did you duet it? I want to see. I don't think I have any down. I don't have any from the past week. So when did you do it? Sometimes I'll get a message that, a one from a year ago will get it, but it was from a week ago. Okay, let me see. Oh, wait a minute. What was it about? Tell me which one it was about, because I had to set one to private because my account got a little suspicious, and so what I was talking about, I had to take a break to let things reset. Does the scarf around my neck? I don't have a scarf around my neck. Are you talking about my profile picture? Hello, it's me. Are you talking about my profile picture? My profile picture, that's called a stole. That's a clergy stole. And it's yeah, they represent the rainbow, or absolutely pride. It's neither one. It's neither. Nobody owns it. Here we go. Get ready. Get ready, y'all. It's coming. Hello, it's me is going to try to put us for a bumpy ride. And once again, I remind you all, this is a safe and sacred space. Safe and sacred space. And y'all know that you are divinely and beautifully and wonderfully made. And any entitlement that comes from somebody thinking that they own something that's science made, that's just part of a natural design of the world, is absolutely ridiculous. But once again, we're talking about a Christian entitlement, Christian indoctrination that is exhaustive. And I, for one, can tell you how, hi, Stacy. I, for one, can tell you how exhausting and challenging it is to deconstruct from that. But it's not impossible. And I know, thank you, Gigi. There's many here. If you're trying to deconstruct and you're realizing how challenging it is, just put a heart down there. Put a heart down there and show us. We know it's hard. We know it. And I'm seeing it now. I'm seeing people so emotional and confused with what's happening with this election. That's why it kind of all builds on each other, because our reactions to Trump and to some of the people who support him is coming from our own space. Hey, Saltsmom, give me 1 second, and then you can unmute. I've told this story before, but I want to tell it again because I was having such a vitriolic reaction to Trump in 2015 and 2016, and I'm like, I got to get through this. I can't live with this much hatred and anger that was building up inside of me. So I invited one of my seminary sisters to join me in a mentoring session where she could help mirror what was going on. And within minutes, I figured it out that his Christians embracing him was reminding me of the Christians who rejected me, that they would much rather have this corrupt human being as their God than me in their company, because I was a problem child. I was the one with the weak faith. I was the one I was disobedient. I wouldn't submit. And yet they embraced him. And I didn't realize how much I was dealing with rejection. And until I sat with that, because I didn't want anger, my anger was inviting me to a new level of healing. And when we're ready to go there, when we're ready to see that, and that there's no judgment in how long you hold on to. Corinne, is that you? Are you available to come up, or are you just passing through? Make a comment if you're really here, because you have some stuff you can say. But anyway, so that rage, don't be ashamed of it. Don't be ashamed of it. Corinne, come on up. Invite to come up if you can. Hello, Saltsmom. You can now unmute. Hi.
And of course, my dog started barking as soon as I did that. Wow, so much to unpack right now.
As always.
Carrying water for the patriarchy, I did well, so well. But I have to say that watching the evangelical Christian community embrace Trump in 2016, and then, getting messages from my pastor that it was my Christian duty to vote for him, it was like, well, wait, what? It was eye-opening. And it was almost like, thank you for making it so clear to me how effed up you are, And I did go to a different Christian church after that. But even though they weren't Trumpster fires, I like that. It was like the pandemic hit, and oh, God will protect us. We're still going to hold services.
Yeah, so that's a whole other conversation. And I know talking here, we have to be careful about it. But someone just said, Mama Shay said, I tried to listen to him during COVID and for some guidance. And then he said to do that thing, which we're not going to say out loud. But I did the same thing. I mean, it took me years to be able to actually listen to him and not be triggered. And to get to the point where I worked through it. I'm at a point where I can watch Fox News so you don't have to. Never saw that one coming. Never saw that one coming.
Throwing yourself under the bus for us.
Within 3.5 minutes, I'm like, oh my gosh, your Christian duty should be to love, respect everyone. Yes, Mary Beth. Yes. Who's in the guest? It's you.
I'm going to hop off because you have other guests. Okay.
Love you. Love you. Join us anytime.
You.
Hey, are you there?
Oh,
Hi. Uh-oh, you've got red bars, so this might not work.
oh no. Let me see. Oh, there we go. I think I've got the camera on. Yes.
How are you?
Hi, oh, I'm
Oh,
running
don't.
errands.
Oh, wait.
And
Turn the camera off. Turn the camera off. Turn the camera off. Turn the camera
I'm
off.
waiting.
I tell you why. We have to be careful when you are in a CAR because they'll flag us for that. So you have to be careful. Even if you're not driving, they'll flag me. So I'm going to watch it, make sure that nothing happened there. So that's why I had to turn your camera off. So I learned a lot from other people's lives on what you can and can't do. So I stay up and watch all the millennials do their lives and I figure out what you can and can't do. Corinne, I don't know if your ears were burning. Can you hear me?
I can. Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you got bad signal, so I'm not sure this is going to work. But what I was going to tell you is at the beginning of the live, I was talking about your phrasing you coming up with the phrase bluesier, and how wonderful that is. Because there was a bunch of Hoosiers that came in, and we were talking about how important it is for us to find each other as these blue dots in this massive red state. So I didn't know if you had anything you could share with what's happening with Blueziers as far as are we going to get it? Are we going to get our own Zoom call or what are we doing?
I hope so. I am still trying to wrap my head around kind of the best way to move forward with this. It's something that kind of grabbed hold in a way I didn't expect. But I have started a Blueziers Facebook group. I am working on some merch so we can have some maybe t-shirts and represent a little bit. I am making some connections with a lot of campaigns around the state that have Democratic challengers going up against Republican incumbents for the state legislature. So that has been really exciting. I am just trying to figure out the best way that I can be useful. Because Blueziers, of course, was really fun. And I think it was, I felt a collective sigh of relief from around the state, from so many people that were so grateful to know they weren't alone. Because anybody that has spent time in Indiana or in any other place where you feel you're not politically represented, you just feel like you are going through this exercise of voting time after time after time, and nothing is changing. And so I think we are all recognizing that just voting is not enough.
Yeah.
We can poll and vote as much as we want. It's not enough.
Absolutely. I think we are poised. Yes, the TikTok, Tony, we are not going back. And the really important thing is, this dismantling of patriarchy has been a long time coming. And in order for it to actually, the fact that we have a Black woman presidential candidate shows you how far, because of the massive support, a wave of support for this highly qualified, credentialed, passionate person who can absolutely make a difference. And now that she has an equally qualified running mate, this really can be the catalyst for change. But it's a wave that has to keep going. It has to keep going because those systems, the dismantling of patriarchy takes more than just the leadership. It takes the entire system. So as that crumbles, and it will, and you want to make sure that there's systems in place to recover the system that's crumbling, and that's going to take a while. Yeah. Hold on a second, Corinne. Val, oh, thank you, Rev Karla Shop. This is a space for deconstructing, and you don't know any more about whatever it is your God is ordaining than I do. We know we're deconstructing here. So if you want to stay here and you want to learn something and you want to hear about people who have been harmed by organized religion and church people like you are welcome to stay, but you just got your first warning. Okay? Okay. So Corinne, keep us posted. I'll go look at your Book of the Face and see what I can find. I'll look for it. And just keep, let's stay connected and see how we can bring some Hoosiers together, Blueziers together to help people.
And thank you so much for the work that you are doing. I am also someone who has gone through my own deconstruction journey over the last couple of decades, and to find such a warm and welcoming place on your TikTok has just given me such a sense of comfort. And you remind me of so many wonderful, beautiful Christians in my life who want nothing to do with Christian nationalism, and that separation is just a really beautiful thing for me. So
I think thank you, and you'll start to see more of that. Which, by the way, Christians for Harris are gathering Monday night at 8:00 Eastern on a Zoom call. And you can find information. I'll have some information I'll be sharing later here, but you can also find some more information. Lynette, if you can drop that username, Corinne can drop it. Right now, I know it's on Instagram, but I'll be speaking at that.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I will check that out.
Yeah. So come back and see us, okay?
Thank you so much. Good to see you, Rev Karla.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you for the crown gift. I didn't see who that was. Rev Karla Shop just put in the christiansforkamala.net to register. Yeah, Mama Shai, isn't that nice? You fit so many of the 4 Kamala categories. That is nice, isn't it? That is nice. Hi, Logan. Hi, dear one. I didn't see you come in. Okay, so that's it for Velm, who said she was delivered from that style after 30 years. So what she's talking about there is some kind of conversion therapy, and she thinks that she's going to come in here and talk about that here. Thank you, moderator. Thank you, Stacy, which I know that they probably wouldn't have even given her a chance, and y'all are going to make me, you're going to kick me out of the comments, aren't you? You're going to kick me out of the comments. So there was a lot of ignorance in Velm's comment when she was talking about the lifestyle. So that's an implication that those of you who are LGBTQIA+ are making a choice. You wake up one day and go, well, you know what? I kind of want pizza, and I think I'm going to be gay. Yeah, that's it. Those two things sound like they're good together. That is so insulting, dehumanizing, and demeaning. But when you have been taught that your entire life, when that has been preached from the pulpit, when that has been spoon-fed to you, and then the scripture has been contorted to reinforce that, because you're talking of anybody who believes it's, quote, a lifestyle, is part of that indoctrination where the scripture has been weaponized. So don't you ever let anyone compel you to believe that you aren't worthy of love and respect for who you are, just the way you showed up. So whatever's going on with her life of being, quote, delivered, I can't speak to that. But to come here and think that they have a right to say something like that to you here is absolutely outrageous. To think that somehow is showing and being the hands and feet of Jesus. So what somebody doesn't know is that the data prove time and time again that people are leaving church. And people are leaving church to escape people like Velm. They can try to twist it and contort it to say that we're lazy or we lack faith or we just want to sleep in on Sundays. Honey, nothing could be further from the truth. As a matter of fact, the most ardent people that I know who have deconstructed have been leaders, have been elders, have been people who were deeply immersed in leadership and in worship, who were in seminary, who were doing the work. That's right, Mary Beth. You're tired of the hatred in the pews. And they come here and think that somehow that's going to trigger you because all they have is fear-based theology. That is what in that indoctrination, and somebody out there knows this, if you were raised Southern Baptist as I was, it didn't feel like church if you didn't feel lower than the curb when you left on Sunday morning. Because it was about, you're a sinner, you're lower than life, you are not worthy, but God saved you anyway. You heard those sermons over and over and over again, but only through Jesus Christ, salvation, that you received salvation. The blood of the Lamb covers you, all that stuff. And so you're made to feel unworthy. And then Velm comes in here and tries to trigger that fear because the Christian patriarchy does not care about your well-being. The Christian patriarchy does not care if you're traumatized. The Christian patriarchy does not care if you live in a place of fear, if it keeps you in the pews, if it keeps you tithing. That's what they care about. And that is what Velm was displaying there. And so for anybody who was triggered by what they said, I apologize. Y'all are good. We love you. You are not a mistake. You are not a sin. Which, by the way, when you deconstruct, most of us no longer believe in sin. Drop a heart. Drop a heart if you have deconstructed from the concept of sin. Drop a heart. I hope I see some hearts. Please tell me there's people here who've deconstructed from the concept of sin. Yay. I know it's hard. I know it's hard. Because when I first left church, I thought I was a sinful person for not being obedient. Thank you. Good. Look at all you. Cece's working on it. And Catherine says she's just learning. It's so hard. It is hard. And Tay's Intuitive Healing. I love your name, though, Tay. That tells me you're working on it. Cece says I'm working on it. I understand it, but definitely still feel the guilt. The guilt sometimes feels more normal than joy, doesn't it? Because that long-suffering Christian, that whole concept of the long-suffering Christian, God must love you if you have that much suffering in your life. And keep your eyes off the world and on salvation. We're working for the reward of heaven. So our earthly experience is supposed to feel oppressive. It's supposed to feel bad because we're earning stars in our crown for heaven. Yes, Hyacinth, it took a long time to undo. Absolutely. Stephanie, thank you for sharing the live. Tia, Southern Baptist, put up with the spousal abuse. He is head of family, just be better. Yeah. That's a tough one. Because oftentimes, if you are trying to address the abuse, you're the problem. Because you're not being obedient. They'll turn their eyes away from abuse. That you must keep the family structure together. And that's a tough thing. So I hope you're doing okay. Who we got here? I got with somebody coming up. This is going to have to be my last guest, y'all. I've got to get ready for a live teaching. Tay, hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good. I hear you say you're deconstructing and you've been going through a couple of things that have been pretty hard.
Yeah, I belonged to a bunch of churches many years ago, and they all had their own issues. And then recently I joined where I had some friends, and now put those air quotes around them. And then they did like this, the bait and switch, and to the point where like my head knows all the words you say, I'm right there. Like my head knows it, but I let them in. It's kind of like when you meet people like that, I open up my life journal, and when they gave it back to me, there was muddy footprints all over it. And so my heart center is damaged. So even though my head knows and my psyche knows, my heart is still sad, trying to forgive them for myself and to heal the pain that they inflicted. And it's not an easy walk right now.
Yeah, because you're learning to deconstruct from those beliefs, but also those false narratives that places on you about who you are in your place in the world. That kind of indoctrination teaches you to shrink yourself.
That is so true. And, I'm a 60-year-old woman and I'm single, and they are totally family based, the whole patriarch. And when I talked to a woman and said, there's no way you can understand me. And she said, well, that was just a choice you made. You chose not to get married. You chose not to find a husband. And that was my final straw. When you're turning at me, if God knows my plan, then my plan's perfect. What the things I'm walking out, maybe I am supposed to be single. Maybe I do better work. I'm a teacher. I touch thousands of lives. So maybe that's why I do fine. But when they started to shame me that I didn't, have a family and children, all this stuff, that was really when I had to wash my hands.
And you're seeing that again, not to go down politics, but that is what's happening. That's the reason why when you look at J.D. Vance, especially J.D. Vance, you're seeing at how much they disdain women. Because it's the women that they can't control, because it's the women they can't control that they fear. So someone like you who is single is a threat, because you are independent thinking. You don't have anybody that you are submissive to. So that weakens the patriarchal structure upon which that system is based. So that's the reason why so many people are triggered by some of what they're saying. You think, you kind of make fun of we're all going to be run by single cat ladies, but that's a wound that cuts really, really deep. Even for me, who is a mother, but I'm sitting here as a almost 63-year-old woman who's my cat just died. So dude, you just really pissed me off. But you start to, because that kind of structure also dehumanizes and devalues older women for the very same reason. Because if you can start to control them as in their maiden years, if you will. So let's talk a little bit about Maiden Mother Crone, because I got some mystics in here. I saw some of the things you've said. I saw that there was a Wiccan priestess, I think. You're welcome, B-Bard. I'm honored that you're all here. If you can control them there, and you can control the narrative, and the narrative is that when you can no longer produce children, you have no value. If you can't produce, you have no value. And people believe that about themselves. They believe it. And so that you shrink yourself. So now I can tell somebody with a username Tay's Intuitive Healing is not shrinking themselves. That's not shrinking them. And someone else who deconstructed from Baptist to a Wiccan priestess, you're not shrinking yourself. You're stepping into that empowerment, and that's scary AF to them, because they realize that energy that was out there, even it doesn't matter. There's a nurturing sequence that happens in our lives, even when we don't have kids. We go through these seasons and we nurture differently, and something does hit when we hit what is called our Crone years. There's a wisdom that comes along with that I thought I had life figured out in my 40s, honey. I became a force to be reckoned with in my 50s and 60s. I mean, look out. Hyacinth says results in fewer deconstructing men to pair with, hence single cat ladies. There you go. For sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. I think I've missed some good comments. Tay, was there anything else you'd like to add?
No, I want to just simply say that ever since the day that I found you on TikTok, I feel like it was all purpose for the part of my healing. So I appreciate you and support you with much love and light.
Oh my goodness. I'm so honored to be here. And I love that we have this kind of space. And, I don't think it's a coincidence. I do have a lot of men who follow me, but a lot of what I end up with is a lot of the women who are finding their voices. And yes, tell your husband, Cece, he has nothing to worry about with you. Just like with my husband, he sometimes he can't keep up with me, but he's also my support. He really very much is my support. Yeah, Mary Beth says, tell your husband, we're watching him. Just do this, Cece, to him right now. We're watching him. All right. Are there any final questions or comments? Because I do need to hop off. I am teaching tonight at 7:00. It's a private Zoom class. A couple times a month, I teach Sacred Conversations with Rev Karla, where I go live. And tonight I'm teaching about Beyond Paul's Words. So this is a place where, for so many of us, we were raised and harmed by Pauline theology, because that very much is written from a patriarchal perspective. So we're going to try to deconstruct from that tonight and talk about that. Don't forget, my book is in pre-order. I would so appreciate you pre-ordering that. That does help in my universe. What is the address for the Kamala call? Lynette, can you share that one more time, the username and things for that? Also, Mary Beth, next time you're here, we'll make you a mod. What else? Oh, yes. If you pre-order, I'm going to sign I'm going to sign the book with the nameplate, and then you get that mailed to you. So that's something a little fun that we're going to be doing. I haven't seen the nameplates yet, but I bet they're pretty. No, I don't know, Saltsmom. I don't know. I wish thankfully this team is amazing. I don't have to worry about that stuff. Troy, it's good to see you, my friend. Thank you. I know you're here all the time. Thank you so much for your support. Is it going? Yes, actually, I just finished recording the audiobook today, Mama Shay. Here's the fancy schmancy microphone they sent me, and all the equipment is all over the place. I mean, it is everywhere. And that was an experience. And having to read my book, that was an experience too. Let me tell you, that was an experience. And my publisher, my editor, and my producer, they were so cool. We would get ready to do a chapter, and she would say, now, if you want to take a minute before you read this. So she'd obviously read the book. And I would be like, no, I think we're good. And then I'd get halfway through and I'd start crying, because I'd forgotten where this chapter was going or how deeply into a story I went. And yeah, I'd start crying, like, all right, I got to back up, got to go take a break, got to go take a walk, and dive back in. So that took about 3 days. And today they had me re-record a couple of sentences where I didn't say the words quite right. Who knew how hard it was to say deepening it? But they didn't like it when I say it slow. It was a good time. It was wonderful. Thank you all so very much. I love you. The snarky, and I don't know where that conversation. I like listening to the authors read their books, especially snarky intellectuals. I don't think I got snarky in my book, but maybe I did. Did you find the process of writing a book cathartic? Troy, writing is my passion, my genius. I miss it. I'll be honest with you. I like producing videos, but writing is my passion. I miss it. I'm going to have to do something about that, aren't I? I'm trying to find ways to bring in some Substack time, because I miss writing. Thank you, Nancy, so much. You can go to, I don't think you can go there yet, but pretty soon you can go to revkarla.com, enter your receipt, and you will get your bonus gifts. So thank you for doing that. Thank you, Mary Beth. I love you. The book will be released October 8th. October 8th. It's ready? Okay, so you can go to revkarla.com. You can enter your receipt and you will get your bonus gifts. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I wish you could order it here, but they just can't seem to figure that out. All right, everyone, make it a beautiful night. Remember, you are seen and deeply and unconditionally loved just the way you are. Never forget that. I love you. I'm so honored to be in this space with you. This has been another wonderful time. You help make it a safe and sacred and meaningful space. Please show the mods some love. Thank you to Lynette and Stacy. They do an amazing job. And I think I just got fired. I'm not supposed to talk to the trolls anymore. So I won't do that. I'll try to leave them alone, but maybe they still trigger me in some way. So yeah, we're going to bring up some more mods too, to give them a place to be able to engage. Thank you all. I got to go. I got to get ready for this live. See you all. Love you. Bye.